They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 things banned on Netflix.
You will not laugh. You will not cry. You will learn by the numbers. I will teach you.
For this list, we'll be looking at various movies and shows that have been banned on the streaming service over the years in various countries. Have a case for any of these? Defend your picks in the comments. Number 10. Holmes Watson. Granted, Holmes Watson isn't quite like the others on this list, but its history makes it too good to pass up.
Wilson, stop panicking! We can disable the Queen!
It's making them angry, Holmes! Oh my God, what are they doing? They're turning this way!
This spoof of the famous literary detective stars the normally fire comedic duo of Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly. However, Sony reportedly smelled a massive bomb prior to its release.
I am a man of stout constitution. Yes, of course. I just thought after the last time was the... And the... merely a bout of stomach influenza. Yes, but the time before that, bad clams.
In the days before practically every studio had a streaming service, Netflix had a reputation for taking anything thrown their way. But apparently, even they wanted nothing to do with this stinker. It was a good call, because the reviled Holmes Watson then failed to recoup its $42 million budget, despite opening on Christmas Day domestically. We think Sherlock himself could best explain why Netflix said no to this one.
Elementary.
Number 9. The Legend of 420. This is just the first of a few entries on our list centered around the consumption of marijuana. And oddly enough, they're all banned in Singapore.
We have more than 25,000 peer-reviewed studies in the scientific literature that reference the marijuana plant. That's more than the total volume of literature we have for Tylenol.
Whereas some of those later entries have a more lighthearted relationship with the recreational drug, The Legend of 420 is a documentary that seeks to enlighten the viewer. It touches on marijuana's ever-evolving status in the U.S., right up to its successive legalization in some states in the 2010s.
People are purchasing legal marijuana that's quality controlled, and they know what they're getting in legal shops in the United States.
The doc also seeks to dispel some myths that have surrounded the use of it for decades. However, the ultra-conservative city-state of Singapore demanded it be prohibited from appearing on the streaming giant within its jurisdiction.
We used to think that cannabis was bad too. I used to think it was the devil's lettuce and that it caused people to do crazy things. Now I've learned that's not the case at all.
Number 8. The Last Hangover.
Fazer brinde, porque a noite só tá começando. É isso aí. Olhando no olho.
No, when we say The Last Hangover, we're not talking about the third Hangover movie, though it does follow the franchise's typical formula. Rather, The Last Hangover refers to a Brazilian comedy special from the troupe Porta dos Fundos. As you might imagine, it depicts the apostles trying to locate their pal Jesus after he turns a little too much water into wine at the Last Supper, if you catch our drift.
Todo mundo aqui, ó. Refil de vinho automático no copo. Quem virar primeira ganha, hein? Vambora!
Comedic quality notwithstanding, we probably don't need to explain why blaspheming would rub some governments the wrong way. And we probably don't need to explain why it was once again Singapore that voiced its complaints with Netflix on this one. Still, this isn't even the most controversial depiction of Jesus Christ on this list.
Congelou!
Number 7. Cooking on High.
They'll have 30 minutes to create tasty edibles using one secret ingredient. Psst, it's weed.
Netflix has had loads of success distributing reality cooking competition shows. Cooking on High ain't one of them. In fact, the Washington Post was so bold as to call it the worst food show on Netflix. Well, we're sure the Singapore government felt about the same, though it was likely more to do with the specific use of marijuana in the content.
I'm gonna do a grilled cheese, but I'm kind of spin it up. I'm gonna do some sourdough bread with a mix of Gruyere and white cheddar cheese, a little sopressata. I'm gonna make a plum jam that has a caramel made with the cannabis butter, and then I'm gonna make some chips for the sides.
Money.
As you might imagine, Cooking on High features a slew of guest chefs, all of whom have specific expertise in making treats with a certain green ingredient. Though it might sound perfect for Netflix binge watchers, poor reception led to only one season being produced. much to Singapore's delight, we imagine.
Everything melted together flavor-wise. The sauce and the crunchiness of not only the fried cod, but the prosciutto was really well put together. I give it a 9.
9.
Number 6, The Bridge. This was going to be a sensitive subject no matter what.
I mean, I like The Bridge too. But he just seemed so fascinated by it, and I just thought that was kind of odd.
The makers behind The Bridge documented 1 whole year of footage of the Golden Gate Bridge in the San Francisco Bay, specifically in regard to almost 24 recordings of people taking their own lives there in 2004.
And I talked to the highway patrolman. I asked him blatantly, I said, is this a rare occurrence or does this happen often? And he looked at me and kind of smiled and just said, it happens all the time.
It's sobering stuff, and reactions to the film were mixed, to put it mildly. Some felt the on-screen tragedies were far too morbid to share, whereas others appreciated it for opening a dialogue. The New Zealand Film and Video Labeling Body were of the former group, classifying the documentary as objectionable and asking it to be removed. Their stance can hardly be blamed, and Netflix naturally complied.
It's a small step to empathize, to say, because I think we all experience moments of despair.
Number 5, Patriot Act with Hasan Minaj. The decision to ban an episode of comedian Hasan Minhaj's Patriot Act sparked almost as much controversy as the episode itself.
Whether it's Yemen, Jamal Khashoggi, or human rights violations, do you really think it's going to change our relationship with Saudi Arabia?
The episode in question was pulled in Saudi Arabia owing to its criticism of Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman and his supposed involvement in the death of journalist Jamal Khashoggi in 2018.
It blows my mind that it took the killing of a Washington Post journalist for everyone to go, oh, I guess he's really not a reformer. Meanwhile, every Muslim person you know was like, yeah, no sh**.
Unsurprisingly, the country's Communications and Information Technology Commission didn't take to the subject matter and demanded Netflix remove the episode. Netflix's compliance sparked an outcry, with Human Rights Watch's Middle East director in particular, Sarah Lee Whitson, accusing the company of bowing to demands of government officials who believe in no freedom for their citizens.
This is the most unbelievable cover story since Blake Shelton won Sexiest Man Alive. Are you kidding me? He's the 4th sexiest judge of The Voice.
Number 4, Full Metal Jacket.
Let me see your war face. Sir, you got a war face? Ah!
The 80s saw a swath of movies criticizing the Vietnam War, but it was this classic from Stanley Kubrick that the actual country of Vietnam objected to, at least when it comes to Netflix. Indeed, the Vietnamese Authority of Broadcasting and Electronic Information specifically asked the film to be removed from the streaming service in 2017. The exact reasons for the ban wasn't disclosed, but considering its topical subject matter, particularly the war sequences in the second half, one doesn't have to guess.
M-I-C-K-E-Y-M-O-U-S-E, Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse. Forever let us hold our banner high, 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 high.
Come to think of it, the first half contains one of the most shocking sequences ever put to film, be it a Vietnam War movie or not, so we can imagine why this one might get banned.
7.62 millimeter Full Metal Jacket.
Number 3, Disjointed.
I've devoted my entire life to spreading the gospel of marijuana, the miraculous plant that has the power to heal the sick, calm the afflicted, and usher in a golden age of people not being such dicks all the time.
Disjointed can't be worse than the previous pot-related Netflix show, can it? Wrong. Well, at least that's what the critics essentially said during its single-season run, insofar as it unfortunately lived up to its title. In any case, this Kathy Bates-led multi-cam sitcom similarly didn't sit well with Singapore, which promptly had it removed from Netflix services in the region in 2018, though perhaps not as promptly as Netflix itself, which canceled the series in February of that year.
Jesus Christ, that's just offensive.
I heard it when I said it.
We're sure that the progressive legalization of marijuana in the United States will yield a proper sitcom on the topic, but even then, we're sure the streamer will be hearing the same tune in Singapore.
Are there gonna be bathroom breaks? Yeah, I guess. Okay, guys, I get it. You don't want to be here.
Thank you.
Number 2. Night of the Living Dead. Night of the Living Dead was a landmark achievement of horror cinema when it debuted in 1968, introducing mass audiences to what's now known as the modern zombie. Still, it wasn't without controversy, with many calling the movie obscene and horrifying. Well, cut to over 50 years later, and the film is still receiving pushback, though not so much on American soil.
We have got to go get Johnny! Please help me! Please!
Don't you know what's going on out there? This is no Sunday school picnic.
In 2017, Netflix removed the title from its library in Germany owing to a complaint from the German Commission for Youth Protection. That somewhat tracks, seeing as the film features a young girl character who dies from a zombie bite, reanimates, and takes out her mother with a trowel. Still, maybe not the first zombie movie we'd guess got banned in Germany.
Jeg har sett sånn, jeg er rett opp i fjellet, og det har sett sånn at vi blir angrepet av noe som ser ut som tyskere fra andre verdenskrig, og ja, vi har tilfeldigvis sett fyr på hytter, og hallo?
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. The Last Temptation of Christ.
You're a disgrace! The Romans can't find anybody to make crosses except for you! You do it! You're worse than them! You're a Jew killing Jews! You're a coward!
Yes, the creme de la creme of controversial religious dramas. It was controversial in 1988 and remains controversial now. In case you need a refresher, Martin Scorsese's The Last Temptation of Christ, like the novel it's based on, depicts Jesus Christ overcoming a series of temptations prior to his crucifixion, including fear, depression, and lust.
If I was a woodcutter, I'd cut. If I was a fire, I'd burn. But I'm a heart and I love, that's all I can do.
It's fascinating stuff, but despite carrying a disclaimer acknowledging its fictional nature, religious groups were up in arms about it upon release. It's been banned in numerous countries over the years, but it's the removal from Netflix that has it on this list, specifically in, you guessed it, Singapore.
Forgive them.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.